Just drink. I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Film on Tap, where we've got the tap that never runs out. And this week, as always, we've got a pretty fun, packed show for you guys. But before we head on into the new episode, got to check in with my co-hosts here, Nancy and Andres. How are you guys doing?
Did you almost clap again? Is that what that was? No.
What?
No.
You went like this.
What are you talking about?
You went like this and then like put your hands down. I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's like.
Were you like going to mess yourself up? Is that
No.
like what we're doing?
I was adjusting my
you-
water.
All right,
No,
guy.
you did it.
Just screeching the show to a halt.
But I'm all right.
Yeah.
I am
I'm
all
doing-
right today.
All right.
And I'm doing just fine. I went to go see Real Pain, Jessica Eisenberg's new movie. So go check that out, guys. I mean, we won't be reviewing it on the show, but I just thought I'd give that one a little props because, you know, it's good when independent movies come out and, you know, have something good.
I love me some Kieran Culkin. Oh my gosh, he's amazing.
Oh, he's
I love him.
fantastic.
I miss Succession so much.
Oh, really?
I actually, funny enough, I haven't watched that show at all. It's just I'm
If
just
you
a
love
huge
Kieran Culkin,
Kieran
I mean, come on.
Culkin.
So like, and he's amazing in that show. You got to watch it. So
I'm
good.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much, such a commitment. I feel like when you start a TV show, I'd rather like binge it, get through the few seasons. I'll just binge it all in one go.
Yeah,
This
wasn't it only like 3 seasons or was it 4? I don't remember.
I think it was 4 seasons with
Was it-
Succession.
Is it
but-
like done? Like there's no
Yeah, it's
more?
finished. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I'll go watch it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, it's done, but it's one of those things where like, especially nowadays where, you know, I don't know what it is, but the second you get married, your time goes right out the window and you're just like, wait a minute, when do I have time to do any of this stuff? But like in terms of watching a show, like it's so much easier to catch up on a show where, you know, it's kind of progressively still going. And like something like What We Do in the Shadows, that's so easy for us to watch where it's like, oh yeah, we have a show a week to do, or like something like The Franchise, which has anybody seen The Franchise at all?
I have not. No.
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's yeah, like really quick pitch. It's essentially just about the making of
Super quick
a
pitch.
superhero franchise movie.
Oh, we started that, and yeah, it didn't grab me. No. First
Instant
episode
hit
was
to the
just like,
soul.
it was kind
Damn.
of boring a little bit.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm really
Sorry.
enjoying that. That's like the thing that we have to look forward now every Sunday, because it's like, you know, after Penguin freaking killed it, it's like, what else do we have to watch for the rest of the year now?
Yeah.
Also, complete side note, I fucking love your shirt, Tom.
Oh, thank you so much. Like, in case you can't see it, viewers, it is the black phone shirt. So, little niche showing it off right there. I love that movie so much. Oh,
Yeah.
it's the best.
We're getting a sequel this time next year.
A sequel?
Yeah, they're filming it right now. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I don't want it. It ended perfectly.
No.
Just leave it there.
We don't need it. No.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, let's see.
Anyways, what a shockingly entertaining intro. But today, like I said, we've got a really fun show for you guys. We got some trailers to talk about. We got a big horror movie to talk about, speaking of horror. So let's jump into it. The first thing that we got on our slate here is the new trailer for Captain America: Brave New World, the new Marvel film that is going to be hitting theaters this upcoming February. We got our brand new peek at the movie here. What do we think? How does it compare to that first trailer? Let's start with you, Nancy.
Yeah, honestly, when you guys told me that we were going to do Captain America, I was like, fucking again? I've seen this trailer I don't know how many fucking times, and like I feel like we've talked about it. But then I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. We get some new things in there. I see Red Hulk now. I honestly was scared that Harrison Ford as Red Hulk was going to look like horrifying and unnatural, but it actually looks pretty good. I was like, okay, I'm on
All right,
board
Harrison
now.
Ford.
Yeah.
good
Almost
for
almost like the VFX department took their time to sort of make Red Hulk this time. But who
Yeah,
knows?
You know.
I don't know. Could be.
That and seeing the suit. Now, again, the problem is I haven't watched the show, and so I feel like the dude in prison may have been someone I should know, but I do
Yes.
not. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
the dude that's in the prison is from Captain America. I mean, sorry, Falcon, the Winter Soldier. He is technically one of the original test subjects for the super soldier serum that
Okay.
apparently didn't get any credit back in the 40s because of the fact that he was black. So that
He's like,
it
this
was
pretty
sort
boy stole my
ex-
thunder. Okay.
kind of, yeah. which like me and Jen, we were talking about, and we were like, oh, they're going down that road. That looks interesting. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. But with those additions, then yeah, I'm a little bit more on board than I was before. Because I think I said before, with Marvel, it's getting a little bit satiated for me. And especially with the shows, it's so hard to keep up and know everyone in there. But this trailer got me a little bit more on board than I was before.
Okay, so that's a positive review right there. Nancy is on board, folks. How about you, Andres?
Yeah, this trailer I think is a lot better than the last one, for sure. I probably the one thing. I mean, judging from everything that's in the trailer so far, like I like everything that we're setting up towards. We get a little more of Giancarlo Esposito's character in this one. We get a little more of, like you said, Red Hulk. We get a little more of what the story is going to be about without spoiling too much of it. Yeah, I would just say I'm so glad that this version of the trailer doesn't have the like the
Yeah.
seizure-inducing bullshit that the last one had.
Yeah.
But at the same
They did
time,
split screen. They did it.
yeah,
a
Yeah,
different
they're like,
way.
we'll ease your eyes. We'll do split screen this time.
Yeah.
yeah, but like the internal monologue that I'm having when I'm watching that trailer is just, why don't you just don't do anything to the screen? Just let us watch the fucking movie. And
I feel
like,
like that's such a Hulk thing, especially like the what is it, the Banner one where they did the like
oh yeah,
oh my god, because they tried to make it look like a comic book panel.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my god,
they tried so hard, guys.
it was literally just every time they did it, it's like, look, it's like a comic book, right? And then my eyes are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
It's so ridiculous.
We were all teenagers back then, so our attention spans were even more wider or narrower or whatever. But at the same time, it's just like, man, like just let us watch the movie. You don't have to like trick my brain with all these images all at once. Like, you know what I mean?
Say, I like the way the trailer was edited. It was different. That's what I liked. It's not just some like cookie cutter trailer we've seen a million times before for Marvel. Like, it was doing something different. I thought it was stylish. I thought it was fun. I was like, okay, this doesn't feel like a typical Marvel trailer. Like, they're really trying to sell the tone of this movie. And it feels very much so like akin to Winter Soldier, which I love, where it has that like on the ground tactile feel that like I'm looking for in like a Captain America movie. So I'm glad that they're kind of keeping that visual through line from like the past 3 films to this, where like they try to make them relatively grounded and not as like Marvel-esque, which I really like. Obviously you have the Red Hulk in there, so yeah, you're gonna have some Marvel stuff, and Red Hulk looks awesome. But I have to say, like I'm looking forward to this one. I think Marvel's on a bit of a hot streak right now with Deadpool, and also Agatha All Along was shockingly good, and I loved the series. So heading into Falcon the Winter Soldier, I'm hoping they can get the hat trick here and really start like being on fire and firing on all cylinders again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm excited.
I'm also looking forward to there not being so many Marvel movies per year, because apparently Feige has also said that after 2026, which is all the movies that they have in production right now, they're going to lean away from 3 releases down to 2. And I'm like, you know what? I think that's a much better way of going about it, because like, there is
you can refine the quality,
Yeah. And like, honestly, this year we only got 1 Marvel movie, and it was freaking Deadpool and Wolverine, and we all really loved it. So like, it kind of does scare me that very soon we're going to be getting, what is it? We're going to be getting Captain America, then we're going to be getting freaking Thunderbolts, and then we're going to be getting freaking Fantastic Four as well, and all those come out in 6 months. Like that is a lot of content.
Yeah. We haven't gotten a trailer for Fantastic Four, right?
No.
Is there something? Okay.
That.
Yeah, I think
it's supposed to come out in 6 months.
In about 6 months, like a little around 8 months, I would say. It's coming out in July against Superman.
Oh, okay.
Oof, that's some
luck.
tough competition right there. That's
But here's the thing: Fantastic Four is still shooting. Superman comes out a week before Fantastic Four, and Superman already has a trailer ready to go. They're just waiting for a big release for that one, and that's like, oh man, Marvel, you really got your work cut out for you this time.
damn.
Yeah.
Aye. Well, speaking of big movies, though, shifting gears now to, we had our first trailer for Mission Impossible, which is now titled, this new sequel is going to be titled The Final Reckoning. So a lot is at stake here. It looks like this could be Tom Cruise's last outing, possibly as Ethan Hunt, but I don't think that's true. I don't know.
I hope so.
I know they're
He
really
needs to.
trying. He's old, but he's still got it.
Yeah.
Go until the wheels fall off, man. Until
No,
the wheels fall off.
until the wheels fall off. That's him dying. Like, not until the wheels fall off.
I mean, like pulling something, realizing, geez, you went down a dark road.
I'm just saying, he does a lot of his own stunts. It's dangerous.
But also, you said until the wheels fall off. He's doing a Days of Thunder sequel next, so we don't want the wheels to come off on his car, man.
Oh, Jesus, sit down. God,
Just on the Mission Impossible movies. That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to see yet another one of these, and of course, it looks massive in scope. It looks like it's going to be fun, exciting. It looks like there's stakes, especially for this outing here, the second part. So, what do we think of this new trailer? This first peek at the movie. Let's start with you, Andre.
Oh boy!
You
Oh
needed
man!
to zoom in
What
on
was
yourself
that?
to do that shit.
Oh
boy.
boy! Now I am so fucking excited for this movie. I mean, it truly sort of almost has an Endgame quality where they're bringing in all these elements from all the other movies. I mean, like there's even the dude that they sneak, the dude that they break into, the what is called the.
If I
I'm
actually
already
saw
fucking
these
this
movies,
up.
I would help
Come
you. But
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
well, when Ethan Hunt is like coming down in on the line, and they're trying to retrieve the knock list from this dude from way back in the original movie.
Yeah.
You got the rabbit's foot in there from Mission Impossible 3, supposedly. I don't know, but I'm theorizing right now. But just all the action sequences and everything that they're bringing to the table so far, it truly does feel like a wrap up of the franchise and something to go out on a high note. And that's before we even get to the freaking death defying looking stunts in this movie. I mean, like fucking Tom Cruise is on the side of a plane and just hanging off. Like we were just watching the trailer just now, and it's just like, oh my God, Tom Cruise is really, really adamant about maybe ending his life on the middle of the stunt, because you're just like, holy crap. Yeah. But I mean, the one thing is, I mean, like honestly, so excited for this movie, so excited for all the elements coming on board with this. Pom Clementieff's character officially joining the crew when she was a standout in the last movie, freaking maniac that she was. And of course we got oh my God, it's so hard to, I call her Peggy Carter, but it's not
Haley
Peggy
Atwell.
Haley Atwell, there we go. I'm like, Peggy Carter. No, it's Haley Atwell. No, but Haley Atwell is firmly on board with the team now. And God, it just looks so good. I'm super, super freaking stoked for this movie.
All right, let's see if Nancy can beat that ecstatic reaction. Nancy, what did you think of the trailer?
Probably not, but I'm the biggest Mission Impossible fan. I've seen the first two, I want to say.
Oh,
maybe.
No. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Seen
Stopping
the
at
third
2?
one.
Listen.
The third one and don't remember because it's been a while.
Listen, if you've only seen all the way up to the second one, I completely understand. The second one was a train wreck.
Like I said, possibly 3, and then of course I saw the most recent one that came out before this. That being said, it definitely feels like they're putting a bow on the Mission Impossible franchise, and like this is the final one. And even I was like getting a little teary eyed. I was like, "Oh, that's so nice!" They're like showing all his like clips and all his stunts and stuff, and he's like, "Trust me, one more time." I was like, "Oh." That part got me. So
yeah,
even I as
Tom Cruise delivery.
Yeah, even I as a not huge fan of the franchise was into it. So I think they did a really good job with this trailer, and I am looking forward to this. I surprisingly liked the first part of this way more than I thought I would. So.
Yeah, I mean, it as someone who's a massive fan of the Mission Impossible series, I could not be more excited. Like as soon as I saw like even just the still from the movie trailer before I watched it, I was like, I'm so amped. Let's go. Like my body was ready. I mean, I think the best part about this trailer, I mean, we haven't even talked about it. All the shots of Tom Cruise running. There's so much running. Like
I thought
everything
that
you
too
love
when
about
he was
Tom.
off the plane. I was like, oh, there's his running.
Yep, literally, like there's so
Yeah.
many like new shots of him running where he is just fucking running his ass off, and I love every second of it. It's beautiful. He runs like a majestic racehorse. I will be taking no questions at this time.
Like a
So
gazelle.
good. But visually, again, just looks incredible. The plane stunt alone looks absolutely insane.
Oh.
He's an absolute madman, this actor. And you know, as someone who watched all of these movies, yeah, I got emotional watching this trailer, especially when they finally let Tom Cruise talk and he's just like, I need you to trust me one last time. I was like, Jesus Christ, here come the water. Like he might as well be watching Coco at this point. That's what it feels like. But
let's just hope we're not singing Remember Me at the end of this movie because my God.
I don't know, but it's definitely going to be emotional. There definitely seems to be a lot of like great stakes here too. I love the story that I'm seeing so far. Definitely continuing right off the heels of the previous entry. But yeah, I don't want this series to end, but also I feel like it should, you know, like go out on top, go out while you're still, you know, at the peak of your game and, you know, wrap the series up. Because it looks like it's, you know, really trying to, like Andre said, be the end game of this series where it's just takes everything that came before and it makes that one emotionally satisfying epic installment. So I'm in. I absolutely cannot wait to see Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. So yeah, very excited.
It's the
When's it come out again?
final reckoning.
It comes out May.
May, okay. The funniest thing about watching trailers, I don't know why, I just completely always tune out when it's coming out. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Anyways. And then
I miss
to,
the thing. I miss the thing AMC used to do where the trailer would come and then at the end it would say, you know, coming out December 15th. Like they would put the release date and then they stopped doing that. I was like, why? That was great.
I think it was because of COVID, because everything kept getting pushed so far in advance and it kept happening so often that they're like, we just got to get rid of it.
That's annoying.
Sad.
Yeah.
Damn, that was a good thing. That was that was the few nice parts about the coming attractions at AMC. Even though they show you like 25 minutes of coming attractions, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Goodness.
Although that is good for people like me who are always late to movies because then I have time.
Well, I can time it perfectly now. It's like I know exactly when to leave my house so that I get there with like seconds to spare.
I mean, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like sometimes we go to a movie and it's brand new and sometimes the trailers are about 25 minutes and then sometimes they're like
randomly
10 or 15 minutes. And then the other thing too is we went to go see the Superman documentary, the Super/Man Christopher Reeve documentary, which was freaking fantastic. If you guys haven't seen that, and literally there were no trailers in front. Like we got there,
makes more sense though.
But like we got there, and it was like we were only like maybe about 5 minutes after the showtime had started. It was supposed to start at 4:00. The showtime, including the trailers. And then literally we arrived and we're like, wait a minute, did we miss the entire like first act of the movie or so? And it's like, no, they just skipped over all the trailers and we were like 5 minutes into the movie. And I'm like, God damn it. I hate AMC's stupid mentality about showing trailers where it's like, certain movies are going to be 25 minutes. Certain movies are going to be 15. Then certain movies are going to, maybe no trailers whatsoever. You should arrive on time. And it's like, fuck you.
That happened to us with Quantum Mania for some reason, which was super weird because that's when you would think they would have a ton of trailers for. But we showed up and it was like 8 minutes in. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what happened?
Luckily, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You would have been better off if you were even further along down the line.
That's true. Just get to the end of that one.
Oh my god. Anyways, speaking of the end of that one, which is not even a segue for anything, let's talk about our next topic, which is our movie of the week, and that is going to be the new A24 horror film Heretic, or as Nancy likes to call it, Heretic.
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 It's a new horror movie about two Mormon missionaries who go to this guy's house, who's played here by Hugh Grant. And then, they go inside. They have a nice conversation at first, but then things get a little bit sinister and a little bit weird. And then they end up having their faith put to the test as they need to try to escape this guy's house, who ends up being super creepy. So yeah, let's talk about Heretic. There's going to be some spoilers in this conversation. So if you haven't seen the movie, might want to stop listening or watching this episode right now. But you have been warned.
Or come back.
and then just come back afterwards. It's fun. It'll be a fun rest of the episode. So first, let's talk about our general thoughts, and then we'll dive into some spoiler stuff. Let's start with you, Nancy. What did you think of Heretic?
Yeah, so Hugh Grant was fantastic in this. He, like we said before, he should have been doing horror a lot more than this. He plays a perfect creepy dude, which is so good in the movie. And then also, I don't remember her name, but she's in Yellow Jackets as well. She's fantastic in Yellow Jackets, and I was very impressed with her in this movie as well. I think Sister B is what they call her.
Yeah, you're talking about Sophie Thatcher, right?
Sure, that sounds right.
There we go.
That sounds like a name.
Exactly. And then also I'm not great with names, but her co-star was also great. She was hilarious. I was dying with some of her lines. I was not expecting this movie to have any kind of humor in it, and it caught me by surprise, and I fucking loved it. And this movie definitely kept me on my toes. I think they did a really good job with not making it predictable. I will say towards the end, it got a little zany, little wacky towards the end. I still don't know how I feel about the ending, which we can go into more later. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie.
All right, Andres, we got one positive review. Can we make it 2?
I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I would say this movie, I mean, the first 2 acts are so unbelievably well crafted. It pulls you in, and it has a great hook. And unfortunately, by the 3rd act, it kind of gets a little wonky, and it gets a little just kind of like you start to question certain things about it, and then ultimately the 3rd act is kind of a weak point for me. But I will say, Hugh Grant's freaking terrifying, charismatic performance is fantastic. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East are great in the movie, as well as the foils to him. And, they really do step up their game in terms of, going toe to toe with him on this philosophical debate about religion and its place in the world. And it's so great. But ultimately, I think at the end of the day, the 3rd act kind of drags it down for me just a bit. And the thing is that I was so rooting for this movie, and ultimately it went from being a great movie to just being a good movie. And ultimately I kind of think that's where I kind of felt it landed for me at the end. It's just very, very solid.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they took like all of the internal monologues I've had about religion and then made it into a horror film. I was like, oh God, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Worst nightmare.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I think this is a really strong horror movie. I think Hugh Grant is absolutely phenomenal in the movie. I mean, it's great to see him have this resurgence where he's playing all these villains and just really showing a crazy versatility. I love it. And Chloe East and Sophie Thatcher are so damn good in this movie. I feel like they should be getting just as much acclaim, because I think they have the trickier roles in this movie, and I think both of their characters also like play with your expectations, which I thought was so great. But I just thought it's such a well-written horror film. I mean, the whole first act is just like this conversation about religion, about faith, and Grant, Thatcher, and East, they're making it so compelling to watch, and it's just so like sharply crafted where you feel like this buildup and tension for like just a little bit too long, and then finally it snaps into that second act where things get far more sinister. But I love the atmosphere, I love the direction. I thought there's some really fun camera work in here as well, and it's just a movie that kept me consistently engaged. And I didn't really have a problem with the 3rd act like it seems like you guys did, but yeah, it's my favorite horror movie of the year so far. Yeah. I said it.
Even more. What other, for reference, what other horror films have you seen this year?
Smile is definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Abigail is up there for sure.
It's like fucking onions, Tom.
What was the other one? I feel like I'm missing another one. Long Legs for sure.
Oh yeah.
That one.
There's some good ones out there.
Did you see The First Omen and Immaculate?
No, I didn't see either of those.
Oh, okay. I would highly recommend.
Better? Are you saying those are better?
I'm just saying that those would probably be like very big surprises for me as well too this year, because they sort of deal in the same category as like, questioning what religion is, questioning what the belief takes you and how far of a length it'll go to for you to sort of just basically have that make sense for yourself, if that makes sense. So I kind of look at all three as the First Omen and Immaculate and even Heretic as like, those are like three great triple features, I would say. If you pack them all together, those are really great serving in terms of religious horror films. But that's all I meant to say. So yeah.
Yeah,
I will say
I
also, if you are genuinely a religious person, you're probably not going to like this movie. So
yeah,
I'd be interested to like see what they think of the movie for sure.
I mean, here's the thing though, is as somebody who is, I wouldn't consider myself like hardcore religious, but I would consider myself as a person of faith and the person
I'm
of
not talking about you.
No. Yeah.
I'm talking about the hardcore religious people. Like, I don't think you're going to like this movie. Like, people got mad at freaking the Da Vinci Code and shit. I'm just saying, if you're a very religious person, you're not going to enjoy
the Da Vinci Code
this.
Scandal.
Yeah.
It really brings me back.
God, 2006, guys. Yeah, but honestly, like, what were some of your favorite parts about the movie? Just in general, like, you guys both talked about Hugh Grant's performance, and do you want to elaborate on that even further?
I mean, not on his performance, but oh my God, one of my favorite lines of the whole fucking movie was when he's like, "With great responsibility comes great power," or whatever. She's like, "Spider-Man." It's like, no, dare. Love that line so much. I was dying. I was like, that was amazing. She was so confident too. Like,
Spider-Man. Yeah, but it even goes even further to prove the point of the movie, which is, how many times do we hear something before it becomes clouded by the original work? Like, honestly, my favorite scene out of the entire movie was freaking the Monopoly scene, where all of a sudden it's like, what's the difference between this and this? And I was like, oh, this is genius. Like, again, I was thinking, if this movie can stand by the convictions that it really has in terms of saying what it has to say about religion and really go into that nth degree, I think we could be on board with something that might be considered a classic. And unfortunately for myself, it kind of, the fumbles in the third act for me stem more from logic and stem more from character motivation more than anything else, because at the end of the day, I was kind of a little confused. And when we start talking more spoilers, we can get more into that. But yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, we talked about Hugh Grant's performance in it, and he's freaking fantastic in this. He is utterly terrifying in terms of not knowing exactly what his motivation is. Like, he leads these two girls in, and then he just has like, the first act is essentially a half hour of a discussion with him chatting about religion as someone who's like, oh, why don't you tell me what religion means to you and what, how it benefits you and what exactly your faith is that you have in terms of how it tests you and how you found it. And God, it is such a great first act, I would say.
Yeah.
And it all hangs on all their performances.
Well, and I think it's so funny too. They walk in and he's like, "Oh, by the way, is it okay? There's metal paint in my house." It's like, you didn't know what the fuck he was saying. Like, don't you find that weird? And I think that plays into like how innocent they are. Honestly, like, they're so gung ho about, talking about the religion and getting people on board. They're just like, "Oh yeah, creepy dude, sure. Your wife's probably in the basement somewhere. That's fine. You have metal paint. That's a weird thing to say, but sure, we'll come on in." Like, just so naive in that sense. But again, it makes that scene even better.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love. Also, I thought it was just hilarious that Topher Grace is just there.
Okay, that was Topher Grace until the fucking credits. I was like,
what? No, like, literally, like, the first shot of the movie, I'm looking at him like, kind of looks like Topher Grace. Probably not. I think it's my eyes just playing tricks on me. And then it like stops, and I'm like, oh shit, it is Topher Grace. I'm like, what? And then he has such a small part in the movie. I'm like, well, why was he in this?
Yeah,
he ultimately is one of. Yeah, like, he ultimately is one of my biggest gripes with the third act, where I feel if you cut his story out entirely, it wouldn't affect the movie in either way, shape, or form in terms of it would actually have made the movie a little better and actually would have made it a little leaner and actually would have made it flow a little more, because anytime it cut back to what was going on over in, I'm going to say home base for them, but anytime it cut back to them, it just kind of felt like the movie just kind of skidded, because it was like, man, we have such energy with everything that's going on with Grant and with the two leads, and that like when it just cut to somewhere else, it just kind of felt like, oh, what's going on here? And it's not nearly as interesting as what's going on back at the house. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know why you said that. All I thought was more energy, more energy,
More power.
More energy, more energy, more power.
I disagree. I think because when it cuts to those shots, to me, that was like, oh shit, that's their chance to like pull the carpet or do whatever it is that they're doing. So I think that it did have a purpose. I will say again, it's a very small part. But I don't think cutting it out completely would have benefited the movie. I will say with Topher Grace in general, I'm still surprised that I didn't recognize him because he has such a distinct voice. And he did not sound like himself whatsoever. So I was like, okay, cool. Stick him in more things. Come on, Topher Grace. You can do more stuff.
Yeah. He wasn't that bad of an Eddie Brock.
Oh, jeez.
Let's
not go there. Let's not go that far, okay?
Yeah, so many other things you could have said.
Oh, my God. What did you think of like the whole like basement sequence with like the hidden figure and then like the whole test thing? Like, what did we think about that whole sequence?
Yeah. What's so funny is I don't know if you guys are Labyrinth fans, but as soon as they picked a door and they started going down and he like goes to them, all I had in my head was, should have gone that way. He would have gone straight to the castle. And a little blue worm in there. But I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I was watching it, I was like, those doors lead to the same fucking place. Like they're not going to go anywhere. Like, come on. But the fact that they were like, all right, we're going to still choose that we believe and like stick to our guns, I think was pertinent to the movie. And I think that was really interesting that they had him do it that way. Now, when they get into the basement, that's when it gets a little zany. I think we can get into spoilers now, but you have this, what do you call it? Prophet, I guess you would call him, where the idea is that he's going to kill her and then she's going to come back to life. I don't know why. When I first saw it, I was like, oh shit, damn, this lady did come back to life. I thought we were going to go in that realm of, supernatural stuff. And then to find out that no, he just has this weird double that comes in and like replaces her. And, that's where it just became a little bit unbelievable. It's like, okay, well, how did she like drag her down there? How did they not hear it? How did they not see it? So yeah, I think the unbelievable part of it, that's what like threw me off on the last part. But
yeah, I will agree with you because again, there's certain leaps of faith that you have to take, especially with this movie, especially in the third act. But knowing that there was like Hugh Grant had apparently said that, oh, I knew someone was going to be answering the door at some point. So like that was going to be their chance to do the switch and all that other stuff. And I just kind of went, I don't know, stretching a little credulity by that point. And then like again, so many things you kind of have to take on like a leap of faith in that, where it's like, how would they not be able to hear that rickety ass, like rusty door being open when they're up on above? And, like that room also looks like it like echoes a lot of sound. I mean, like if you could hear freaking just the what's called the raindrops coming in, like, like it was, but that's sort of the thing that it is a problem to me, but more than anything else, it was more of the thematic element, especially when we get into the later half of the third act, where they discuss what is the ultimate form of religion. And I thought that they were going to go down the road of like you said, it was going to be the pure supernatural thing. Like when they're walking past the hallway and they see like all those symbols, and I'm like, oh, he's a Satanist. Oh my God.
That's what I thought too. I was like, oh, this dude,
I thought it might go down that road too, but I was like, okay.
Yeah. And then it went down the road of like, oh, it's just control. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess it's little bit of weak sauce, but like everything, like with what this character is and with what he's established himself to be, I don't know. It sort of felt like we were going down a more interesting and more different road with Hugh Grant's character, but ultimately it was like, okay, that reveal was just, it was just fine at the end of the day for me, and ultimately it just kind of, ultimately that third act, in terms of the pacing issues that I've had, and in terms of some of the more logic issues I had as well, like I think all that, it kind of coalesced in the third act in terms of just not being nearly as strong as the first two acts, if that makes any sense. And in the ultimate reveal that there's been all these legion of people and women that have been captured by him and essentially being.
Yeah, is he just collecting like door-to-door religious people? Like that was kind of like, how many of these women have gone to his house? Like,
and
how
many
are
of
they
these
not
people
noticed that they're gone?
Seriously.
Yeah, and how many of these people have gone missing or have essentially like if this is an ongoing thing, again, at a certain point in time, authorities would have probably investigated and would have probably been like, last place any of these girls were at was this house. We have a warrant to come in and don't do anything. Like, it's like, again, stretches credulity just a little bit, but for the sake of the story that they were trying to tell, I guess you have to sort of make that leap of faith on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a problem really with that reveal in the third act. Honestly, I thought it was very fitting of his character, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense that you would see things that way. And then the reveal of like all the women that he's captured was crazy to me. It was just freaking wild.
I thought we were watching Barbarian again, because
I know it kind of did feel a little bit like Barbarian, or like like
all
very similar vibe, secret door. Yeah, it would have had the same like vibe and atmosphere, which I loved. So I really enjoyed that. But I think that my favorite part of the movie was how it really plays with your expectations with the characters. Like, you think that one girl is going to be the final girl because she seems like the smarter one. And then when she gets killed, all of a sudden you realize this other girl is also incredibly smart. Like, she figured all this whole con out, so fast, and basically was just calling him on his shit consistently, was, had good survival instincts. I was like, these are good fucking characters.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I thought that she slit her friend's throat at first because it shows her grabbing the knife. And then also, I was like, what the fuck? Did she like turn on her? Is this like a weird twist? What's happening? I was like, oh no, okay. He got a box cutter and slit her throat. Holy shit. I honestly thought that they would both survive. And that the more naive girl, I guess you could say, would be the one that ultimately gets them out. I thought that's the direction they were going to go. So when she died, I was like, oh man, this girl seems like she's screwed. But good for her. She figured it out.
Yeah, no, she figured it out. But I mean, just one of also my favorite beats as well too with Hugh Grant's character is there's this moment where they have this entire plan to basically start a fire in the basement so that it. I mean, I guess
can't light a single fucking match. Also, doesn't make any sense.
And then
he just let them burn there.
Like he's like, why don't you give me that real quick? There you go. Like, I was like, oh my goodness.
I didn't really understand that plan. Like, wouldn't he just let them burn in there? Like, why would he? I didn't get it. Like, what was the plan?
I'm not particularly sure about that either. Just set the house on fire so that
hope someone comes, I guess.
Or that they have no choice but to be let out. But again, like I said, takes a big leap of faith on that one.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. Were you going somewhere more with that, Andres?
Oh
yeah,
no!
I was just saying, I was like, I don't think it's
you.
No. No, even no. Like pretty much, I've said what I said with that scene.
I'll say what I said.
I'll say what I said. Oh my god! I mean, but honestly, I know I've been talking a lot about the flaws with the movie so far, and Tom, you seem to be more on board with this movie, and again, a lot of the flaws that me and Nancy had, it didn't seem to bother you. So, were there any big issues or any negatives that you had with the movie in general?
I mean, I just felt like the first act, even though it was really strong, I felt like it went on a little bit too long, where I was like, all right, well, when's the other shoe going to drop? Like, when are we going to get to like the meat of the story? Because we're like a half hour or so into this movie and they're still talking. Not that it wasn't entertaining. It was just like, okay, I think we need to like pivot now. We need to like really progress the story. So that was a bit of a bother. I had like one moment where I was like, I don't know how that one girl came back to life saved the friend and then died again. I was
Yeah.
I don't understand how that's possible.
But that's the question. Did she really
Yeah.
die, or did she actually come back and kill her? We don't know. Maybe the girl just died and she was imagining all that.
And
Or
then
maybe
she
she
saved
was a
herself
prophet.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Because I was
got
like, you're
confused.
not going to survive that stab wound. I'm sorry. That full ass knife
That,
went
like-
into you in the middle of your stomach. Like, there's no way you're going to survive. That's why at the
Yeah.
end I was like, oh no, she's dead. If she actually got out and she's seen this damn butterfly, like, you're going to die in a few seconds. Sorry.
Yeah, speaking of, well, clearly, like, what was your interpretation of the ending?
I think she's dead. She died. That's my interpretation.
You think she's dead? Okay.
Yeah.
Andre?
Yeah, she's dead because she did exactly what she said that she was going to do if she died and she came back. But again, because it was the other person who was like, listen, this is just me. I'm here as the butterfly and I'm here on your wrist, just like you mentioned to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it is one of those things where with the theme of the movie, it's kind of like, do you believe in that sort of thing? Do you believe that was actually her? Or do you believe that was just a major coincidence? Could be all of them above, but it's ultimately based on your faith and ultimately based on what you are willing to believe for this ending.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the shot of her looking. Wait, what'd you say?
I said it wasn't her friend though that said it. It was her that said it.
No, it was her that said it, but her friend had died in the basement. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The whole
like it was the reverse.
Yeah. It was the reverse of what you thought was going to happen. But like, I love the whole shot of where, she's like kind of kneeled on the ground. She seemingly made it out of the house and then she like sees the butterfly, but then it cuts and the butterfly is just like, wasn't there. So I feel like that was the movie's like way of just saying, someone who maybe like doesn't have faith or isn't, like religious, doesn't see the butterfly, but someone who still has faith, who still believes, they're going to see the butterfly. So that, like, you were seeing it from her perspective. So it was like she maintained her faith even throughout everything. And that's what, kind of made her happy and made her see the butterfly. That was my interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
That and she died. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, she probably died shortly after that. I mean, she lost a lot of blood.
Yeah.
she lost a lot of blood, and it's also in the middle of the winter, and she does not have that.
She lost a lot of blood. She lost a lot of blood. That she probably died.
Yeah. Also, too, the whole time when they had their flashlight on their phone, I was like, damn, I would have been dead in 5 seconds. My phone would have died so quickly. No flashlight for me.
Yeah. Freaking wild, though. But yeah, overall, though, I really enjoyed the movie. It has its little minor issues for me, but I still think it's just one of the best horror movies of the year, my personal favorite. And I just feel like, Nosferatu definitely has some work cut out for it, but I'm hoping it'll give us the goods.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I also love when she stabs him in the face. I was like, yeah, magic underwear.
Great. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
So I had gone to the restroom and I think I came back around that time when they were talking about but I could not for the life of me understand what the fuck the word was that they were saying. I was asking Craig and he kept saying, I was like, oh, okay. So then when she said magic underwear, I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, oh, that was the code word. Because I really thought when he said, what did he say? He said something like, I've controlled every move you made or something like that. And I really thought, or I predicted or something along those lines. I really thought she was like, except this one. And then snap.
All movies should have Nancy sound effects.
Yeah.
That would have made Venom the Last Dance far more better.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. Every time he eats a head, nom, nom, nom.
Honestly, this is kind of one of those like scenarios in which I went, God, I wish we were all living in the same town together so we could all go see movies together, if that makes any sense.
Freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Also, too, the reverse of what we were talking earlier with the quoting. I forgot what line she says, but he says some fancy philosophical thing. She's like, Swamp Thing.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I was like, fuck yeah.
I thought hilarious.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Loved it. I love that they switched it at the end. I thought that was cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, there are definitely a lot of positives for this movie. And I think ultimately for me, a lot of the positives not were outweighed by the negatives, but were definitely influenced by it. And like, and again, it probably sounds like I didn't really like this movie. I'm just right down the middle on it. Like, I'm very much of like, I would not stand on top of the hill and be like, go see this movie. But also I would not deter you away from seeing it and having your own interpretation of everything, because more than anything,
I will scream.
Yeah, go ahead and climb that hill, man.
I will.
But like, I think no matter what happens, or no matter what someone's interpretation or level of enjoyment is with this movie, you cannot deny that it is not a talking point film. It is not a film that will merit discussion. And I think that if a movie is able to do that,
you mean it's not a film that would merit discussion?
No. It's not a film that would not entice an interesting discussion, right. not enable. Right. Yeah.
Okay, you said it's not a movie that would. I know you said it's not a movie that would like make.
So you think people wouldn't talk about this movie after they saw it?
No. I think people would absolutely. I think people would absolutely talk about this movie in terms of what it's trying to say.
I knew that's what you were.
Oh yeah,
that's not what you said.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't like. I'm literally. I don't know if you saw my face, but I was like, what?
I could feel you. I could feel you looking at me, and then just me being like just stay down the road, Andres.
Oh my god! Because I was like, there's no way Nancy doesn't poke holes in whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what's happening.
To say, but that's not what's happening right now.
No, but this movie, I think, would enable discussion, and a good one at that.
It would enable discussion. Okay, yes. Got it.
Yes.
All right, got it.
It's a talking point. Go. We got there.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. That was something. But in terms of like a rating, what would you guys give this out of 5 pints? What are we feeling?
I think I'll go 3.5. I think the wonkiness of the third act really got to me. Had it not been for that, I think I would have given it 4, but still liked it.
Okie doke. Andres?
Ultimately, I think the more we've talked about it, the more I've the more, or at least the more I've talked about it with other people and their experience with the movie. I was at kind of a 2.5 when I came out of it, but with the more time has passed, the more I've kind of given it a little more credit, and the kind of a little more I'm like, oh, well, that was a very interesting thing that they tried doing, and is definitely one of the more daring horror films of the year. So I would say, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's at a 3 out of 5 for me. It's not perfect, and it's not groundbreaking in any sense, but it is something that, again, merits discussion, and it also I think will provide a talking point for religious movies going forward. I would say ultimately, I think at the end of the day, it's just okay, but I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed that Hugh Grant died at the end, because I would have loved to have seen this character pop up again.
Nah, fuck that guy. He needed to die.
I don't need a part 2 of this movie. I think it's a great standalone horror film. I loved it so very much. Like I love the script. I love the direction. I love the performances, especially. They're so good. And that, like, without those kinds of performances, this movie just wouldn't work, full stop. I think it really has a great horror atmosphere. I love the conversations it has about religion and faith. I don't feel like it tries to pick a side. I feel like it just presents both points of view and lets the audience draw their own conclusions, which I think is fantastic, because I hate preachy, movies about religion. I just feel like it just always rubs me the wrong way. But in the end, I'm going to give this one 4.5. I really, really enjoyed this one. And I'm telling you guys, I told you, it's my favorite horror movie of the year. It's in my top 5 right now. I think it's number like 3 or 4 now. So like it's up there. So go see Heretic, folks. It's good.
Also, Andres, you didn't actually give your stars. Are you sticking with 2.5 or 3?
He said 3.
I said 3. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's what you choose to believe.
If I watch this back and you didn't actually say 3, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass.
No, I know he said 3. I know he said 3.
So this is the whole clock. What is it? Counterclockwise, clockwise bullshit again. When I think Tom was there for that. Yeah.
I feel like I'm like trying to remember it vividly, but
it was with the fan. Hilarious. You guys kept telling me it was going clockwise. I'm like, no, it's counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise.
That whole conversation, I felt like we lost precious minutes of our lives literally arguing that. Like the amount of time we put into that discussion and argument you can't get that back. Like it's vital time we'll never get back.
gaslighting me. Get out of here.
But anyway, to
Anyways.
wrap things up, folks, those are our thoughts on Heretic and the trailers for Mission Impossible and Captain America. Let us know what you think of these things in the comment section below. We definitely want to hear your thoughts and hear what you have to say. You know, do you love Heretic like we do? Do you think it's just okay? Do you think it's terrible? Let us know in the comments. And we'll, before we wrap things up here, though, let's let Nancy and Andres promote themselves. Go for it, guys. Go.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that part. You can find me at PL_Band-Aid on Twitter and Instagram. Of course, you can find me here. Yay, on our new channel. Go watch.
Woo.
Yay.
And leave comments. I love me some comments. And that's it. Done.
All right. And you can find me as Galaghost on Twitter, but I'm honestly going to be leaving I have already left for Blue Sky. So you can find me on Blue Sky as Galaghost. That's the other social media thing.
Oh, what is this? Like another one of those thread situations where now people are pivoting.
Everyone tried that.
Yeah. I don't know. I like this one better than Threads so far. So yeah, but you can find me there. You can also find me on Threads as Galaghost. You can also find me on twitch.tv as Galaghost209. You can also find that we just put up our video review of Executive Decision over on the High Voltage YouTube media channel. Yeah, and then you can also find me editing some emojis for our mutual buddy Jindoyan. We're going to be having a pretty good one popping up very soon. And yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me. You can also find me on Letterboxd as Galagos. So there you go.
Yes.
Boom.
I don't know why when you call him a mutual friend, it sounds like we're not good friends with him. This dude we know that we all have to know.
He's all right.
Yeah. When I say mutual, I mean we're all friends.
Right,
we are all. He's actually a very close friend.
Well, the way you said it makes it not seem true.
It's sarcastic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Tom, take us away.
Yeah, sure. Nice little deflection. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Chattelbash. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube at Chattelbash Reviews. And you can find me on Letterboxd at T Chattelbash if you're looking for that sort of thing. So thank you for tuning into another brand new episode of Film on Tap, where we've got the tap that never runs out. We hope you enjoyed the episode like we enjoyed making it, and we'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.